It's official. Texas Tech will play in the Orange Bowl in the college football playoff, but the Red Raiders did secure a first round bye as the 4 seed. In today's video, we'll look at the bracket and see, well, who is Texas Tech potentially lined up to play in the quarterfinals? What's their road like to a potential national championship, as well as discuss why, well, the Red Raiders have earned this and this is the proper spot they should be. Let's discuss. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. I appreciate you all tuning into today's video. As you can tell, the voice is slowly getting back to where it should be after that, well, just thrilling Big 12 victory for Texas Tech, winning their first Big 12 title in program history and their first outright conference title since the mid-50s. So, hell of a weekend. Just got back from Fort Worth as well, watching Texas Tech basketball look to get back on track against LSU. Christian Anderson is a superstar, but we're here to talk Texas Tech football as they have officially made it into the college football playoff for the first time in program history. If you're excited about that, be sure to like the video. And while you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button for 100% free videos here on your Texas Tech football team all year long, but specifically through this crunch time stretch. We're going to have plenty, and I mean plenty, of content here on the channel surrounding this Orange Bowl matchup for the Red Raiders. But who could they potentially play? Let's jump into it. On your screen, the final 12-team college football playoff bracket. Your Texas Tech Red Raiders secure the final bye of the 4 teams. Indiana, no surprise, at number 1. A little surprising that Ohio State stayed at 2, but I'm okay with it. I really don't have any qualms with the top 4 here. Georgia comes in at 3, the Red Raiders at 4, more than fine. And honestly, I'll talk about it here in a second. I think this is the best case scenario for Texas Tech. Hear me out here later on. But the Red Raiders are set to face off against either the 5 seed Oregon Ducks, who will face off against the Sun Belt Conference champions in James Madison up in Eugene on the 19th. You've got Alabama at 9, which is just downright wild to me. Anyway, Oklahoma at 8, Tulane, another G5 conference winner from the AAC, gets in at the 11, Ole Miss at 6, Miami at 10, A&M at 7. You may notice Notre Dame didn't make the college football playoff, and damn it, after all their bitch moaning and complaining, I'm glad they didn't. My God, what a crybaby-ass fan base. I digress. You see what Texas Tech is potentially dealing with there up on the screen. It will either be Oregon or James Madison. Last I saw, according to Josh Pate in his FanDuel odds, he's got a partnership with FanDuel, Oregon was favored by 3 touchdowns. So it sounds like it's going to be the Ducks. And there's going to be a lot of talk on this channel. We'll preview even the Oregon and James Madison game here a little bit, just so you can stay in the know on what Texas Tech could potentially face down in Miami Garden on New Year's Day at 11 a.m. Why am I being so, I guess, I keep mentioning in Miami Gardens? Well, we'll talk about that here in just a second. But before we do, I do want to shout out today's video sponsor. You see him on your screen. He's a Red Raider just like you and me. Darrin Cook over at LoanFi Mortgage. If you are a Texas Tech fan thinking about buying a home like me and my wife are, or cash out home equity loan, or even just figuring out what you qualify for, right? The housing market is crazy right now. If you're anything like me, you will take all the help you can get. Why not get help from a Red Raider? He is fast, he's honest, and he's helped a ton of Red Raider fans already. There's a link in the bio below as well as the comments. Hit it, answer a few questions, and Darrin will run your numbers and send them to you. It's literally that simple. So if you want a Red Raider helping you out, who's fast, honest, and just downright reliable, head on over to LoanFi Mortgage with Darrin Cook, and he will get you squared away. He is the official video sponsor of today's video. All right. Why am I bringing up Oregon so much? And again, I've already had some Oregon fans in the mentions just shooting down this notion, what I'm about to bring up. I think there's something to it. How much? I don't know. We're going to have to see. But think about this. I think it's worth noting, and I literally took this to Twitter today. Something that's worth mentioning for Texas Tech in their quarterfinal matchup, if Oregon does in fact beat James Madison, which I think we all expect to happen. Again, 3 touchdown favorites at this point is Oregon over James Madison. The Ducks would be traveling the entire country from Oregon, obviously Eugene on the West Coast, all the way to Miami Garden, a multiple time zone difference, while the Red Raiders would just have to change one time zone. Another fact is you have to think about it from this perspective. And a lot goes into it. You can practice differently. I understand that. I think the coaches for both sides will have teams prepared. Coach Lanning is one of the best in the game, so he will have the Ducks ready. That being said, I do think you have to think about it from the perspective of this. Okay, if the kickoff is at noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central, that'll be like a 9 a.m. kickoff for the Oregon Ducks in terms of their body clock. How do they respond to that? Sure, they're going to have plenty of time to adjust to it in terms of the 2 weeks leading up after they presumably beat James Madison. That being said, these people are human. This is something that bothers teams in the NFL, even after bye weeks. It's something that bothers college football teams as well throughout the season. And again, Oregon is a very good team. I am definitely not going to knock them. Texas Tech has played them recently, right? It's the Tyler Shuck bonehead interception game where the Red Raiders probably should have beat the Ducks in Lubbock. I digress, though. That being said, these are 2 totally different teams, obviously. And I think it's something to consider. Do I think it's going to be the be-all, end-all and be the difference in this game? Absolutely not. And we'll break that down later on. But again, I do think it is worth monitoring. That said, let's go ahead and look at the bracket one more time here in the video. You see it on your screen. Texas Tech secures the final bye, which they obviously deserve. I saw some people saying that if Alabama would have beat Georgia, they would have jumped Texas Tech. I think that's downright lunacy. But we're playing the hypothetical games when we're talking about the SEC. It's their favorite type of game. They don't actually care about what happens on the gridiron whatsoever. That being said, Indiana's number 1. Why is that important in my opinion? Again, this is all my opinion. I think the top 3 teams in the country, and I know some of y'all are going to laugh at me after what happened in the Big Ten title game. I still stand by it. I think the 3 best teams in college football today, okay, are Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech. I think having the 4 seed for the Red Raiders is actually better than having the 2 or 3 because you will miss Georgia or Ohio State until you play in the potential national title. Now, you're going to have to handle business against Oregon and presumably, if you go by seeding, Indiana going on your way to the national title in the quarterfinals, respectively, for Oregon, and then semifinals for Indiana if the seeding holds up, right? I think Texas Tech got a pretty damn good draw here, Red Raider Nation. I really, really do. I think Texas Tech is going to be favored in that Oregon game. That may shock some Ducks fans that haven't watched an iota of a second of Texas Tech football this year, but Texas Tech is really damn good. I think Oregon is really damn good, but Oregon has not played a defense this year that is up to the caliber of Texas Tech. And don't mess me with that Indiana stuff. I think Texas Tech is the best defense in college football. And it's going to be a great matchup there in Miami Gardens if Oregon does, in fact, beat James Madison. But from a Texas Tech perspective, I think this is exactly where you want to be. I think this is one of those situations that laid out perfectly outside of the fact that it would have been pretty damn cool if they played at the Cotton Bowl in the quarterfinals. I think it was like 80 miles difference is what it came down to in terms of Ohio State and Miami or something like that in terms of regionality. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. That being said, you have a chance to really match up well against Oregon. I think there are multiple things that you can really prioritize and exploit from that Oregon defense from what I have seen this year. And we'll talk about that obviously later in the month, but don't get it twisted. We are going to have a ton of content here on the channel, including, damn it, we better be having a damn video about the Heisman Committee naming Jacob Rodriguez a Heisman finalist, because if he is not in New York City as at least a Heisman finalist, we riot. We will riot. And by riot, I mean a strongly worded YouTube video here on this channel that you will not want to miss. But hopefully we're making a joyous video, sending Jacob Rodriguez to New York. And hopefully my voice doesn't sound like sandpaper, just went up and down. But it was well worth it. I know that everybody enjoyed themselves here in the DFW area celebrating. There were a ton of Red Raiders, obviously, at Cowboy Stadium, witnessing the first Big 12 title in program history on the gridiron. And then there were quite a few Red Raiders at Dickies Arena on Saturday afternoon, as was I, experiencing Texas Tech men's basketball getting back on track. It was a great weekend to be a Red Raider. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and Texas Tech is officially Orange Bowl bound as the number 4 seed in the college football playoff, exactly where they should be, in my opinion. I think the committee got it right in all facets, even if I have maybe a small qualm with Alabama. I get it. It would have set a bad precedent. Overall, though, I think this is exactly where you want to be if you're the Red Raiders, and we will talk about it ad nauseum this month here on the channel, because the next time your Texas Tech Red Raiders play football, it will not be in August 2026. No, it will be January 1st down in Miami Gardens at the Orange Bowl against presumably the Oregon Ducks or potentially James Madison. And we will discuss every ounce of this game. Maybe drink some orange juice too, as good luck would have it this month. But if you're excited about Texas Tech football and the trajectory of this program, and really just excited for this Orange Bowl game that is set for just a few weeks away, this is the place for you to stay up to date on everything Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long. Be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube right here on the Red and Black Report. Major shout out to Darrin Cook over at LoanFi Mortgage. Be sure to go check out that link down in the comments below. I'm RC Maxfield, reminding you, as always, stay safe and Recom Tech.